All right, let's do this week's lap of the fish room, and we'll start with the 210 gallon South Central American tank. Two little chocolates looking great. This electric blue Ochart has done fine in this aquarium. I was a little concerned about him because he's so much smaller than everyone else, but they just don't seem to have any interest in him. And as you can see, he is a beautiful EBA. Two beautiful Oscars, red tigers, one of course being an albino. There's Sally the Salvini. I consider her to be one of the prettiest freshwater fish, right up there with a female red terror. Big, beautiful. Yeah, I love the pinks contrasted by the black near the tail. Gotta be around 11 inches maybe. This Geo seems a little happier now that he's the only Geo in the tank. Just wasn't playing nice with the other Geo. Had to remove the other one. I was showing obvious signs of stress. My old Jack Dempsey. Boy, does anything grow slower than a Jack Dempsey? This Jack Dempsey was the same size as the Oscar not that long ago. They just don't grow that fast. Little fire mouth back there. There's the Geo. Big boy. Possibly close to 6 or maybe more than 6 inches. The red shoulder is very, very shy. Over here with the Nicaragua, they just tend to hide over here on this side of the tank. Usually the Oscar is a little bit more in front of the glass. He's being a little shy today. What's up, buddy? Not sure what you've heard about Oscars, but they are not aggressive. There's the red shoulder. A pretty fish. This albino almost overwhelms the camera. I can't really film on my phone, even though it's an Apple Pro Max. I mean, it just overwhelms the camera, kind of washes it out. There's probably a setting to adjust for that, but let's go over here to the right, where I've got my little discus that I'm growing out. They're doing great, interacting. I hand feed them blackworms almost every day. They get a combination of Discus specific food, a little bit of Cunningham tropical flakes, and some of those super cichlid blackworms. But as you can see, they're looking good. Still using that Eheim 300 watt on its side back there. Not sure if I'll replace it. It's doing a good job. It's keeping the tank nice and warm. Plants are doing well in here despite the high temp. I'm continuing to see new growth. You can see the brighter green new growth at the top of the plants. So that's a good sign. Some of them, like the more softer leaves, some of them I notice are struggling a little bit, and maybe over time what I'll do is I'll replace the ones that are struggling with the ones that obviously are doing well. But even the one back here that seems to be struggling has new growth on the top. You can see it, the brighter green colors. Just interesting finding out which plants can tolerate the higher temperatures. I mean, I expected the Anubias to do fine. There's a little bit of Anubias in here, mixed in with some Java. Little Anubias down here. This tank continues to get a couple water changes a week. Not like 90%, more like 30%. It does have a UV sterilizer on it. A little extra oxygen to help compensate for the high temp. Now here's a pretty Anubias. This is in my planted community tank. A little bit of hogwort here. This seems to be the spot where the embers like to hang out. Little rasboras coming in to photobomb. Rummy nose. Love them rummy nose. This lily now, this I guess is it a red tiger lily? It's got three stems now that it's shot out, so it's got like 3 big leaves on the surface. Not sure if you can even see them from this angle, but they're kind of green on top, purple on the bottom, really pretty. And just keep shooting them out. I think that's a good sign. Little red lily. Looks like I finally have some val that took. All my val in the past was just dying for some reason. It's supposed to be very robust, but it would just simply melt and disappear. This one seems to have settled in and is looking good. You can see I got little school of neons here, but back there's some of those Anubias, petite Anubias, some of the smaller varieties of Anubias, as well as one bigger Anubias back there, intertwined with a bunch of hornwort. Little Java fern. I want to thank you folks for suggesting centerpiece fish. I'd love to get maybe a Empire gudgeon, maybe a Bolivian ram. We'll see what ends up being a centerpiece fish for this. Something that's very peaceful, but a little bit bigger than the other fish, but not at all aggressive. Look at how fat those 24Ks are. I've been feeding them that magic floating food from Aquarium Co-op. They love it, especially these little guys who really can't get much in their mouth. So teeny. Continuing to the right here, we've got the 90 gallon. All goes well here. There's the subdominant electric blue Ochart living in this aquarium, along with my red spotted Severum. Beautiful guy. And of course you get the redhead, well, several good number of redhead Tapajos. Little SAE, Siamese algae eater, cruising around. He thinks he's a Buenos Aires tetra. Go around this tank, you'll get into my hospital and quarantine section. And these tanks right now, these two are empty. This 29 gallon is empty, but ready for fish. Very well filtered with a sponge filter and a Cichlids. I think it's the 500 series, Shark 500. This tank's very well filtered, very seasoned, and very much ready for fish, keeping it 78 degrees. So I have a fish coming, two fish coming. I'm not going to tell you till I get them. And one will go in there, and one will go here in this tank, which is also almost empty except for a couple Plecos that I hope will be too big to fit in the mouth of what's coming, so they won't eat them. In this little Pleco playground, I've turned this into a retirement home for the subdominant geo. I put him through some med treatments. He's starting to perk up a little bit, but you know, he's got those growths at the base of the fins. I'm probably just going to let him live out the rest of his life here. I don't think he's going to necessarily bounce back, despite the being hit with some meds. I don't think he's going to eat any of these small Plecos, and if he eats one or two of them, I'm not going to be too upset, seeing how there's about 100 of them hiding in there. But he was just being too harassed by the other geo, and the stress was showing up. You could see the stress on his body. So at any rate, he can just live here for a while. This will be Shady Acres retirement home. Let's whip around here. Look at the 300 gallon. This is the, of course, the African Cichlid tank. I've got my live stream light on it. You see, they're all coming over here. They think I'm going to feed them. They're looking good. This big old Buccochromis rhodesii yellow continues to build a mound over here on the left side. You can see it. He's a real redecorator. Fusco's putting on tremendous color. Love the pattern on a Nimbochromis. Hawk, little mustache. Aristochromis. And here's our gar settling in very nicely. No fin damage. So he's not being picked on. Most of the fish here, if you notice, you don't see a lot of fin damage. A couple nips here and there, but for the most part, the fish aren't destroying each other, including this little Taiwan reef seems to be doing okay. A big spot. You just don't see that. You see the nips of a big old trout back there. Come on up here, buddy. 11 inches, maybe. It's a big boy. The Energizer bunny, back and forth, never stops. Buccochromis notatania. If you want a fish that'll add a lot of movement to your aquarium, get a Buccochromis notatania. They never stop moving. Beautiful fish. Strigatus. Big old coingy. Hey, buddy. So cute. Love that sloped forehead. All right, that concludes the lap, this week's lap of the fish room. You are up to date on what's going on. Stay tuned for those new fish that are coming in. I think you're going to like them.